Guiding Light, presented by Duncan Hines Cake Mixes. Duncan Hines, always an adventure in good eating.
Great cake, Mary. I'll trade you one of my recipes for this cake recipe. Well, oh, come on. I'll make it 2 recipes. Well, for 2 of yours, my recipe is Duncan Hines. Duncan Hines? A mix? I can't believe it. It's so moist. Moist is homemade. That's Duncan Hines. Look, those crumbs show how moist. Pick them up with your fork. Hey, they cling together. No dry cake does that. It is moist. It's homemade. That's why my recipe is Duncan Hines. Mine, too, now. Bet I could trade our recipe for 3 of somebody else's.
Get Moister's homemade Duncan Hines cake mix. And now, another adventure in good eating from Duncan Hines.
Pancake mixes are not alike. Watch. Duncan Hines pancakes puff up so light they're nearly 50% higher than the leading mix. Duncan Hines pancakes.
Dad?
Yes.
Oh, you're home early.
Yes, but not for long. I gotta get back to town.
Oh, what for?
Oh, meeting of the Restaurateurs Association. Dinner, business.
Well, why didn't you just stay in town?
Well, I have a report to make to the association, and like a fool, I left it here. Besides, I want to see Peggy. She home?
Not yet.
Not yet. It's way after 6. How come?
Oh, she didn't go to the hospital today. She decided to go shopping instead.
You mean you don't know where she is?
You mean, do I have a list of all the stores she's going to visit? You're right. No, I don't.
I just mean you never seem to know where that child is, do you? Or care much about it?
But if you're going to give a lecture on how to protect your daughter, will you please not? I'm just not up to it.
No, I can see you're too tired from that important job you have with Mr. Hayes. I wouldn't want you to discuss anything as unimportant as Peggy.
Then, must we? Oh, look, I assure you, Peggy is perfectly capable of taking care of herself. Even when she's surrounded by dangerous store clerks. Furthermore, I did see her today. She came into the office to rest for a while.
Oh, yeah?
But what did you want to see her about, anyway?
Well, I know it puzzles you, but I just plain like to see my daughter. I have to go to that blasted meeting tonight, and I promised Peggy that I'd take you 2 to the movies.
Well, I wouldn't worry about that too much. I have an idea when Peggy gets through shopping, she's going to be too tired for the movies.
Well, there's another reason I want to see her. She came to see me today.
Well, she didn't mention it to me. What about?
Plenty. She had me standing on my head trying to patch things up.
Patch things up.
Remember the other night we were arguing about going on that vacation?
Then are you trying to tell me that she overheard? Well, now, we weren't talking that loud.
Oh, loud enough for her to get some of it. Not enough, thank God. But enough to give her plenty of worry, enough to make her come up and see me and ask me what it was all about.
Do you mean that she overheard us arguing about?
About the evidence I have against you. Your love letter to Bill Bauer, the photostatic copy.
Oh, no.
Don't worry. I took care of everything. But I don't mind telling you. I had to do some pretty fast thinking today to cover your tracks. With the softening power to soften even scratchy burlap. Downy will make all the clothes your family wears so soft, so comfortable, so easy to live in. They'll feel almost like no clothes at all. Downy. It whitens better, too.
What are we going to do?
I told you I took care of everything. Luckily, she didn't hear enough to know what it was all about. She got the idea that I had something against you, but she didn't know what. Oh, if you could have seen her face today. Her heart was on the edge of a cliff she was ready to go over.
Oh, Peggy.
It was pretty obvious I had a rescue job to do, and fast, so I took what she heard and I twisted it into something nice. So I've got quite a talent as a liar, you know. I've never been more grateful for it than I was today.
Are you sure? Did you reassure her completely?
I'm sure I did. Didn't she seem all right when you saw her today?
She was very cheerful. She came to persuade me to go on that vacation.
Well, she was all right.
How did you ever convince her that everything was all right?
Well, fortunately, I had a copy of my will in the office. You've seen it. It's a nice will, leaves everything to you. So I made her believe that that's what we were arguing about.
I thought I would believe and be grateful for your ability to lie, but I certainly am now. But if she ever found out about that love letter to
She's
Bill...
not going to, Maggie. I can promise you that. You've only seen that child's face today. I have a confession to make. I'm a gambler, and I bluffed you into marrying me with that letter. Oh, I knew I had all the odds in my favor. I knew you'd want to protect Peggy. I knew you thought that I was such a bum I'd use that letter. But if you'd called my bluff, I'd have tossed in my hand. I'd never hurt that child.
Should I believe this?
It's the truth.
Then why did you keep that photostatic copy?
Well, the bluff worked once. I was sure it would work again. But after today, I'm tired of the bluff. So, after Peggy left my office, I burned the photostatic copy of your love letter to Bauer. Well, there's always a chance that something like that could fall into the wrong hands. And I don't even want a 1% chance that Peggy'd ever find out about you.
Thank you.
I didn't do it for you. I still think that if you cared anything about Peggy, you'd never have had that affair with Bauer.
I don't ever expect you to understand how I felt about this.
I understand that if Peggy ever found out about you and Bauer, you don't deserve her love and respect, but I'm going to see to it that you keep it. Not that I think you need it, or even care much about it, but because Peggy needs it. Today, I saw how much she needs it.
You really love Peggy, don't you?
Oh, do I love that child. I don't deserve her any more than you do, I know that. But I've got her, thank God. And so have you. She loves us. We're her two shining lights, Maggie. Pretty dim lights. But she doesn't know that. And I'm going to do everything in my power to see that that child is happy. And innocent. And lovely.
You were kind of slow. I'm afraid I'm going to take you home a little late. Peggy, what's the matter? Peggy? Peggy!